Hello cousins, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Big Mama Cooks and I have an Instagram page where I post recipes all the time at Big Mama Cooks _. Today we kick off the second video of a romantic week recipe and we are making mixed seafood pasta. This is a delicious recipe with minimal ingredients and the most delicious results. Yes, I will be using frozen bagged seafood. This is an easy cheat code, but you're gonna see how good we're gonna make this. Let's get right to it. So I'm going to be taking my seafood bags directly out of the freezer and adding them to the sink in a bowl, in a strainer, so they can defrost. I'm going to be running them under really cold water for around 10 to 15 minutes so they can defrost completely. After those 10 or 15 minutes, my seafood has completely defrosted and I want to get into cleaning the shrimp. Even frozen shrimp has to also be cleaned. Do you see? It has the tail on, which means it has not been cleaned. I had to grab a portion of a completely different video to show you guys how to clean the shrimp. So I'm going to remove the tail, just pull it off gently, and then I'm going to make a slit towards the bottom end of it in the center. Do you see that? That is shrimp droppings. So they eat and they have to digest as well, right? I'm going to cut off that part. Some people like to scrape it off. I like to cut it off completely to make sure, and boom, nice and clean shrimp. I added salt and pepper to my shrimp and separated it from the rest of my seafood because we added into the pot at different times. Now that I lowered the music, these are the ingredients that we are going to be using for our pasta. Very minimal ingredients. Everything is going to be listed in the bottom bar. So a large pot on medium-high heat, I'm going to add my first stick of butter and 5 cloves of minced garlic. I'm going to add this right in and mix this up together. Then I'm going to follow up with 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. This is up to your preference. If you like no heat, don't add in any crushed red pepper. I like a little heat. So I'm going to add this in and I'm going to mix this really well together. Then I'm going to add in my mixed seafood. Not the shrimp, just the mixed seafood. But as I was recording, I realized that I caught the part where a sneaky shrimp came in here and I immediately pulled it out when I realized what was happening. I also wanted to show, do you see the color of the tail started changing colors and started getting pink? That's how fast shrimp cooks. I had to be careful for that shrimp not to cook. So I'm going to mix this around, and I'd like to note that while this was making, I had already boiled my pasta per box instructions. I added in a teaspoon of salt and I lowered the flame to medium-low. Since we have our seafood in here, seafood cooks really quickly and I don't want anything to overcook, I lowered the flame. Next, I'm gonna add in my pasta. I used linguine, but please feel free to use any pasta you like or any pasta you have on hand. I have also made this with angel hair and penne. Honestly, it's whatever pasta you have on hand. I used linguine because I wanted to have a certain presentation, but again, it's whatever you have on hand. And mix it well together. Then I'm going to add in 1 cup of dry white wine. This is going to up our flavors and marry our flavors really well together. Then I'm going to add in half a stick of butter and my shrimp. And I'm going to mix everything gently together. The butter will melt as all the flavors start marrying together and all the heat distributes. This is going to cook really quickly because shrimp takes anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes to cook. So I'm going to turn it just for a short while and then I'm going to add in another teaspoon of salt. I had a little taste test and realized I was just a little bit undersalted, and I also added 1 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Fresh ground isn't necessary. If you have container black pepper, use that right up. You're gonna mix everything really well together and then look at this beautiful shrimp. This happened in about 4 minutes. Next, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. I'm going to give this a stir and a taste. Cousin, this is so delicious. I purposely lowered the music so you can hear the sound effects. I hope I was able to properly convey my emotions about how delicious this is. Cousin, if you're your significant other or seafood lovers, you are going to like this. I hope you make it. See you again next time, cousins.